digas que lo sientes. Eso parece sincero, pero te conozco bien y sé que mientes. Te felicito que bien actúas. De eso no me cabe duda. Con tu papel continúa. Te quedo bien ese yo. Te felicito que bien actúas. De eso no me cabe duda. Con tu papel continúa. Te quedo bien ese yo. Te felicito. Esa filosofía barata no la compro. Lo siento en esa moto, ya no me monto. La gente de dos caras no la soporto. Yo que ponía las manos al fuego por ti. Me tratas como una más de tus antojos. Tu herida no me abrió la piel, pero sí los ojos. Los tengo rojos. De tanto llorar por ti y ahora resulta que lo sientes. Suena sincero, pero te conozco bien y sé que mientes. Te felicito que bien actúas. De eso no me cabe duda. Con tu papel continúa. Te queda bien ese hecho. Te felicito que bien actúas. De eso no me cabe duda. Con tu papel continúa. Te queda bien ese hecho. Te felicito que bien actúas.
Anyway,
No quiero saber cómo es que he sido tan ciega y no he podido ver. Te deberían dar unos cargos hechos también. Te felicito que bien actúas. De eso no me cabe duda. Con tu papel continúa. Te queda bien ese hecho. Te felicito que bien actúas. De eso no me cabe duda. Con tu papel continúa. Te queda bien ese hecho. Te felicito que bien actúas.
Código 2369.
You know that sometimes I think about us now and then, but I never wanna fall again. Yo no te quisiera olvidar.
anyway, this is California. I think around half of population speaking Spanish. I think I've seen somewhere like close to half or something. But big part of California speaks Spanish. So they have different radio stations. I'm driving right now to a special store. I need to buy something. So for people who like cooking and who like a professional cooking at home, and yeah, online you can see this or this, but there are professional cooking excuse me, there are professional cooking stores for chefs, for restaurant supplies, for commercial kitchen. So like if you go to say like Walmart, Target, Macy's, to different stores like that, they do have some things for consumer, but it's not everything that would be used at commercial kitchen. So if you see something like commercial cooking and you don't know where to buy it, so you look at stores like that. I'm going right now to that store. I need to buy something. So I'm going. It's called here in California. It's called Chef's Toys. Chef's Toys is like, I've been there before. It's like it's a big store. Like look like big sport equipment, like a warehouse they call them, or like REI, recreational equipment incorporated. So you go inside, they have all kind of stuff for recreation. There are similar stores just for professional cooking equipment. So I need to buy something, but the stores don't sell it, but I need it. And there is only one store that can sell. I need to go there. And that store is like 9 to 5. After 5 p.m. they don't work. I think they are focused on commercial cooking, restaurants, because normally after 5 it's not really for consumer. Consumer after 5 can go, but businesses probably don't want to buy anything after 5. Normally businesses, they go home at 5 o'clock. So it has all kinds of stuff, small, big ones. I'll show you. I mean, if you need something to buy, sometimes you don't know unless you see in person. So they have many things to see in person. Now, beside that, there are commercial kitchen equipment like gas stoves. I think that store doesn't really sell the gas stoves or electric those ovens. I think if you want electrical or gas commercial grade, you need to look at certain special place. It's not like Sears, or it's not like, you know, this Home Depot. That would be consumer, but for commercial grade, maybe one business for a huge area. I see expensive homes many times. Expensive home can be like $6-7 million home, but the stove is cheap stove, some kind of, it's nothing close to commercial. It's just, I mean, if you have like 4,000 square feet and you're putting the same stove like 1,000 square feet house, I think it doesn't make any sense. I think it's good to step up to like some kind of more commercial grade, double burners, whatever. Some of them, they have like special stuff in the middle, like a grill. You have burners, and you have a burner which is long, oval long, that you can put the cast iron, big plate, a big whatever you call it. It looks like a cast iron, or the long one, or long pan or something. So if you have that long, you know, like for the flames, you have that long piece. So the flame is not round, the flame is long, oval. So you put the cast iron long ones. There are different models, some like consumer, some pro-consumer, I guess. Those pro-consumer, they're starting to have different burners in the middle, or one burner, maybe double burner. For commercial grade, normally most burners are double. Like where I was working, every burner is double. The double burner means you start you start first, it will be flame, smaller one, and then you start second. Why it's good? Because when you have the surface of the pan or pot, if you have big surface and then you have flame with normal the stove, the flame is going to the middle. But with commercial one, it's not only to the middle, then you have another circle flame, so the whole bottom. You just reduce, you don't put too much flame, you reduce. So you have a little in the middle, a little bit on the outside. So you have the whole bottom is heating up. So for big pots, it's good when you need a flame not only to the middle, but to the whole bottom. That's when you choose double burner. Not only double burner, there are double burners but different diameters. So it's in the middle one thing, but it could be a second one bigger or smaller. So I guess I actually do like that one. I don't really like idea of cooking with flame to the middle, because you're gonna have always in the middle hot, outside is colder. So one way to resolve it, you need a thicker bottom. But still, I had when I was cooking sometimes thick like this, almost half inch thick. The pan, certain pan. Now, like for instance, someone have party, they don't know how to serve. So there is a pan, it's called like hotel pan. In general, it's called hotel pan. Normally they're 2-inch thick or 4-inch. I mean high, 2-inch high or 4-inch high. And one is like shorter one, another one double. So if you have a big party, those pans are always stainless steel. So if you have a big party, you make any kind of food you want, salad or hot food, and you put inside of those hotel pans. Because sometimes you might don't know, I don't have so many plates, I don't know how to serve. But the hotel pans, normally they're like that. And another side, if you really want more commercial, if you want more commercial, it would be like that pan, hotel pan, is going inside of, it looks like a bath. How to say it? It's like a pan, and you put inside, like it was when you go to eat buffet. When you go to eat buffet, you have that cover, and they put that pan inside of, it's like a bath. Could be some water there, and they put the flame underneath, like a small flame underneath, so it keeps warm for a long time. So if you want a real commercial, that's how I had for catering. You put those, like for buffet, you know, it's like a cover, a pan, and underneath there is a flame. And then people can eat whatever, and the food stay warm. You don't need to warm up. So that is called hotel pan with that stand equipment. Anyway, so I'm looking right now. I need to find it, my place. because realistically, many people have parties, but they don't have the equipment to serve. They put like this or this, but it's not really how it is done for catering or how it is done for commercial use. But you can use always. You can always buy if you have extra money. You can buy, put it home. And if somebody come, if you have like a couple of those, it keeps warm. You open, close. Anyway, let me find my place. So you see, Chef Toys Restaurant Supply, open to the public. I guess you need to look for open to the public. It's quite a big store. Like those are used too for veggies, for salads. So you have a lid like this for that, and you put salad over there. It's like a bigger container for big party salad. So that's how it looks. And then what I can tell about this, because I talked to the guy, those commercial grade stoves or fryers, basically you need to pay extra. Like suppose I got an expensive home and I want to have a burner like those burners or fryer. I actually do like to have like that small 2 fryer at home. Like if I have expensive home, I don't like to fry on the stove because I did fry at work. I always use like those 2 or 1. It depends on how many people. I just got used to it. I don't really like to cook on the stove, to fry on the stove. But anyway, he said that that commercial equipment basically is for commercial kitchens. You need to have certain ventilation, blah 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 blah. Basically, a commercial kitchen building code should be met. So if you don't like to change building code, I mean to rebuild, then probably it's okay to go with kind of pro-consumer models, which are made to put in without rebuilding anything. But I actually like the idea of better ventilation, because I don't think that standard ventilation is good enough. I've seen like on TV, I think one of universities, they were measuring CO2 with the standard ventilation, and it's basically too much. Ventilation should be better. So I don't mind to step up for ventilation. Another way I've seen on TV, they put commercial those grills or commercial stuff outside of the house. It looks like look like a roof with columns, kind of open kitchen close to the pool. Probably there you can put commercial stuff, so if you have smoke, it will be gone. Anyway, it's good store like that, but keep in mind, if you buy something which is with electricity or gas, you might need to consider really you need to consider that one. You know what they call it's like they rebuilt house. So you need to probably get particular contractor, meeting commercial codes, rebuilding, putting that system. So probably fireproof. It should be fireproofed everywhere. Probably more fireproof than normal sheetrock you have in the kitchen. Ventilation, bigger ventilation. At work I had, you know, like commercial kitchen, I had ventilation, suppose above you, like you have flat top. For the whole flat top even bigger. You have big stainless steel kind of thing, and it takes outside, like that's for flat top. But for the kitchen, like big commercial use, it just look more durable, more heavier. Probably ventilation is better because you have a lot of CO2. So, but in general, just an idea. If somebody want to rebuild, basically you need to consider not only putting the commercial grade, but rebuilding your kitchen whatever. If you, my guess, the quickest way, just to put outside, close to the pool, you have columns on the roof. Then you can put commercial stuff over there. So you can cook, especially with big wind. It's better to have double burners because wind will take the temperature down. Fryers, it's not actually really good to cook at home. It's better to have kind of separate area so the CO2 doesn't go to the house. Anyway, but it's possible. Now, talk about, from what I know, talk about investments. It's kind of like for rich people investments. They don't really like the fact some kind of politicians into that business that they don't know about. Like when they go to Wall Street, look like it's a company, look like they do whatever, research, development, whatever. But in reality, they have politicians in some kind of hidden business which is not disclosed to investors, and then they invest money, and later, after a long time, they find some kind of politicians or political people with it, especially not on company's list. And basically the risk or the management, it's kind of hard to evaluate influence of politicians on company or company on them. It's not really like a normal business, it's some kind of other business going on. So when you put money, it's the risk level is hard to evaluate because you don't know all this kind of stuff behind. Suppose, like, example, suppose there is a business. Normally in business, no politicians come, there is nothing going on. So you evaluate like business, but that one, online stuff, there are many stuff which is not even belonging to them. Some kind of political stuff or hidden stuff. What can I say? What can you say? What can I say? Honestly, what can I say? This should never be a company that you should consider as legal. That's what I would say. Why? Because if I came to that search engine, if I came to that exploring for people, different software decisions, and if it is used and copyrighted without me, that's illegal. That's not your thing to copyright an offer. That's illegal use. I'm serious, I'm not joking. Because in 92, like in 91, everybody was calling on the phone at Wall Street. When you go home, nobody can log in and explore anything. So I came to my exploring after work, an external system, not previously at the building some kind of system. It's my completely in the middle of nowhere system with international cables and certain build-up, and they implement it without right legal papers. So I cannot suggest on investing, because that is my search engine, like Google or Bing, first page, or like Yandex. That's my first page. I had few kinds because I was planning to talk to investors. So that's my few kinds front page. and then appearance after. Certain name, business or whatever, which is linked, short text, and few maybe other small things. Quick way, contact or whatever. So that was used illegally. I was different to AOL 91. That's my way. And they flip around, look like everybody can use. No, nobody can use. That's my innovation. And when it's innovation, you have rights. So if somebody want to get rights, they cannot get rights from those copycats because it's not their stuff. But they can get rights from the person who started. Well, if something they continue for that part, they need to get from them. But otherwise you cannot get rights because they don't have right for mine. You see what I mean? If I came to something and they use mine, they don't have right for mine. They use illegal papers, look like I allow, or I like him to do, but it's fake, illegal papers made overseas where I was in the United States. So they have those papers, look like I'm okay, do this. Big part of it probably ex-wife. She wrote this, she wrote that. And then, because she want money, so she wrote this or that. So they implement. And the next step, this or this or this, money go to her. It's a double trick. But what investors are getting, they're getting politicians that she found, not me, she found. And they work with her illegal papers. So when you invest into some company, if you see politicians behind, they are actually illegal users. They are not in a position to represent. If I would talk to them, it's one thing. But reality is, I would need to talk to attorney, not politicians. So instead of normal way, me talking to attorney or certain, I've seen like innovation, certain innovation sometimes, not just attorney, but some kind of people who can help you to implement. So that would be normal American way. I've seen, I think in Florida or some other places, they do have that. You pay certain amount of money, and particular group, including the attorney, I guess, they help you to implement. They look for people, stuff like that. That would be normal way, but my way, right? But that costs like starting prices like $10,000 for pretty small thing. To implement all mine, I would need to probably have so much money up front. At that time, I was like 23. I didn't have big savings. I don't have even big savings right now. So, so what happened, instead of me doing that normal American way, some attorney or innovation, that particular group, finding people and then they work out something. So instead of that, my ex-wife, because we got divorced, she went overseas, she found people, and they're politicians, or communist, which is politician, or Berlin politician, Russian, Ukraine, any other politician. So they use political power, which is already, you can consider as abuse of power. They're not supposed to jump into it. It's not their stuff, but if it's not their stuff, they jumped in, it's abuse of power, because it's not a federal intellectual property. You're not supposed to do anything because it's not federal intellectual property. So they basically, they were in abuse of power, and they were using certain ways, and they went everywhere, including Silicon Valley, and they decided to create companies based on illegal paper. Look like I am okay. Most likely ex-wife was writing all the nonsense. And then, of course, you will have always those politicians with the company because they started all those companies because it was my Explorer and I had many software decisions. So they've made companies for my software decisions, like eBay or Amazon or Zillow or YouTube, Netflix, Google. That is my software decisions, and sometimes in case of Google, network decisions. So because they started with politicians, they have that influence constantly, but they don't disclose on Wall Street or anywhere else. They don't disclose. That's why you have that unknown part. But like I said, that unknown part is illegal use. For known part, you should tell the company like Google or them, okay, that he is allowing. We need to talk to him. I'm telling you, I never did allow, because it was overseas. I'm here. So what you say, you are saying he allow overseas, but he's in the United States. So that's fraud. What you're offering is containing fraud already. And then if somebody signed it, oh, that's forgery. He was here, somebody signed. So that's illegal use. What you have is illegal use. Now, when you talk about investors putting money in or investment banking, that's illegal use. You are not supposed to put any money into illegal use. And then those politicians will copyright mine for the company without my name. That's again illegal, because you would automatically violate intellectual property rights. It's not you, but you copyrighted under your name and he's not there. So it is illegal use in intellectual property violations. Who is involved? Politicians. Because it is Olga's people. She probably talk about this or that to many people, not just to Germany. Maybe Ukraine, maybe Russia, maybe, I don't know. I doubt she talked to friends. She could speak Russian or German. So I don't think she would find big support from friends. And when I see those companies, many times those companies, they have German name CEO. I'm telling you, that's corruption right there. Why? Because those German name, they have nothing to do with my intellectual property. They implemented because ex-wife said. But it's not her intellectual property. Even if she told you, you're not supposed to use and walk in my shoes and tell it's your brain. You are lying. In that case, you are lying. You're fooling people. It's not your brain. You want to argue about your brain? Let's go to D School or Innovation Center. Tell me, how did you start from scratch? The answer would be, you never did. What do you have? Or we have these political people, or we have paper he's allowed. What you have is fraudulent paper. So basically you have illegal use. It should not be copyrighted like that. It should not be used. It should not be used for offering shares, because it's not your product. Anyone can code something. Many people can code. 1 million people can code. But you need to come to a certain product. And you didn't have that product. You got that from basically politicians and X5. That's not your product to code. Don't code money and say it's yours. It's only your coding. But the intellectual property part, it's not yours. You cannot claim for software development all that is yours, because it's not yours, because they told you. So if they told you that name should be on copyrights, you were offering with dishonesty. So all those German names you see, they are not original. They're basically trying to walk in my shoes. Not just German, sometimes Jew you can see, but I can see big part German Jew. Those like Bezos is like exception. Mostly I see German or Jew. So because I see who Microsoft, Balmer, Amazon, Jesse, Google, Brian Page, probably YouTube has Jew too, Netflix too, because so those my ex-wife's people, they talk to Jew. But sometimes they might go with someone else. So when rich people invest, they don't know the truth of beginning. They say they don't want to put money or anything with politicians. It's understandable. I would be really mad, like, well, I actually, during my life in the United States, I had like maybe 3 or maybe 4 LS investments. You know, I was putting small money into different stocks, and I lost because it's a company bankruptcy. For company bankruptcy, especially when the gas hit low. It was time like whatever 2 or 3 years ago. The gas, the crude oil hit super low, and many companies, the small ones, they filed for bankruptcy, and I had at that time like 2 or 3 of them, maybe 4. Basically, I had some of those. So if somebody is thinking about investment, I lost because of those oil companies. Now, and I'm mad. Well, not mad, but if you lose, of course you're going to be mad. So if people invest into that online stuff, if they lose, they are mad. Especially if they know some kind of politicians hidden business, they copyright for company. What is that about? They're not talents. They're nothing. And they lose, they are mad. They don't want to put money into that bogus business. It's understandable, because there's bogus business. They find those CEOs. I don't know what they told them. They told them some kind of big stories. Look like I am okay being overseas. I like him to send money. That's all story, I'm telling you. That's my ex-wife's story. I never left US since when I came to the system in 92. I never left US. I never want money to go there, because in America prices are very high. Car costs money, house costs money, food, insurance, telephone, all this adds up. I don't need money to go there. I need money to go here. But they have tweaks. So when investor is investing, they're telling him, oh, he's allowed, blah, blah, blah. In reality, money never goes to him. It goes to someone else. Basically, I'm telling you, that's like illegal use, corruption, tweaks. The risk level is way, way different. And actually, I believe it should never be offered on Wall Street, because you need to offer your product. It's not your product. They told you, right. So it's not your product. That's a gray market. You're talking about fake Nike, investing into fake Nike business, or fake Jordan, or fake Gucci, whatever. So that's how it is. That's what I think. Should we invest or not? I think the Wall Street does not give enough information, because if they allow illegal copyrights go through, that's a risk. So if somebody is allowed, then it should be known somebody is allowed. What if not? Any politician can make fake paper. He liked me, somebody allowed, or he liked me to death, or he liked me, he is ready to fucking hit fucking road by his head. That's how he liked me. Like, just stop talking your shit. You're not fucking any better than anyone else. And some politicians are thinking like this. They're thinking they're fucking golden. What fucking golden about you? What the fuck golden about your fucking ass? Talking your shit. Most of it, they talk shit. Trying to bump here and there. Trying to suck money, trying to make books, fucking videos. Approve illegal social network, put in their fucking face. We have fucking the best youth. We're super cute boys. They're fucking scam artists, I'm telling you. I knew people, politicians, they told me, it's all bullshit. What they say is bullshit. They become politicians to make money. So if you look from that point, I expect they're gonna poke their nose everywhere, fuck. I will never walk with barefoot on a glass. You fucker. Who the fuck are you? Talking shit like this. Especially if he is using my intellectual property illegally. Fuck you. I'm not gonna walk like this. They have communists there too in Miami. Or this. I'm telling you right now, that bald guy from Twitter, he's subject for federal prison. Because of fraud, illegal copyrights, illegal everything. So if you think he's fucking some special fucker, he's not. He's another those investors, fraudulent, some kind of jackass. Because he is. He was going around the world trying to offer people to invest, and he has Communist Party there on the back, or even inside of his building. This unexplained shit. Who were doing copyrights? What the fuck? What, they do copyrights. Do you tell the investors around the world? No. So if they lose, you didn't tell. Who do you think you are? It's like a fucking schmuck. Fucking ass. You put inside of chocolate candy, you put fucking shit. Dog shit. And you walk for that fucking scam shit. You know what I mean? It's like people buy drugs. People buy drugs and they put, instead of good drugs, they put some kind of shit. So other guy get mad. It's another version on some other level for that. I know some people can kill. So believe me, some people can kill if you promise one drug, but you give some shit. They can kill you for that. Because this world is not what you think. There is a street world and there is a normal world. So many times it is a street world, street rules. If you sell wrong drug, you can get killed. So if you do some kind of shit, you think it's okay. In reality, it's not. You can get fucked up. I'm telling you. And all those companies for exploring, what do you think? It's a shitty product. On any level you look. Shitty drugs, shitty chocolate, shitty car, shitty house, shitty wine, whatever, any way you look. That's what I think. That's what, for rich people, what I think. Yeah, some get rich, but take a look, 30,000 businesses lost money. You know why? Because they had illegal papers. Look like anyone can do. In reality, nobody can do. It's like Microsoft. Can you make a statement, everybody can do Microsoft? Or everybody can do Apple? Why not? They copyright, who gives a shit? That's what you only know, part of it. Another part, the condition of copyrights, it should be your thinking. If it is found, it is not your thinking, your copyrights could be void. That's the second part of what you know. I repeat, anything that later could be found, it's not your thinking. Basically, you have fraudulent statements. Those copyrights will be void. Don't think just because you copyrighted it will be forever. No, it can be void. You know? So that's what I think. I think what you need to do is if those rich people want to invest. They need to look straight at the beginning. How did you get copyrights? We invest into what? Not company is doing copyrights, but some kind of people. Are you a talent or not? No. Why they do copyrights? Because they decided to make back on it, or ex-wife decided to make back on it. You cannot copyright. It's not your thinking. The condition of copyright should be your thinking, but it's not thinking. You're copywriting, and you have paper he is allowed. That's fraudulent paper. I'm here. They make paper over there. It's fraudulent paper. You're copywriting with fraud, and then you use that fraud, basically illegal use, and telling to create company. Or it was all together with creating company, copywriting or creating company, and then offer to Wall Street to offer shares. You cannot offer with that. You cannot offer with that. You cannot get any shares. Those shares, I'm telling you, most of what you see for exploring, those shares should not be approved. Anytime you see politician told them they incorporated with politician, anytime you see I allow, you had to disapprove shares because it has fraud. If signature forgery, it's not your product. It's not your product. Illegal use, fraud, forgery, and it's only what I know. It could be way more than that. So that's all I can say. But I think realistically, for rich people, if they want to invest, they need to invest into something new. Like suppose, I know that Amazon is mine. My plan actually to make that for Europe and kick out all the whatever scam boys. So you need to invest something you can control. What they had in America, they cannot control. The investors cannot control all those political activities inside of Amazon or eBay. That's my e-commerce, new used items. So they cannot control the investors. The investor look like owner, but in reality he cannot control. He cannot change anything. They have politicians telling them, and some sitting like listening them. So if you create new that you can control, not somebody is allowing all that bullshit, but really talent and no political spoken nose, game boys. So if you start from beginning, then you are investing in something that you know. Otherwise you invest into some game. Honestly, from 92 till today, when it comes to exploring, they're investing into games. People are investing into games. They have a lot of games. I'm serious. So if you can control, I guess, you can control. It's like buying suppose gas station. If you buy from certain company, people, yes. But if somebody else keep coming and doing something, some kind of other management, excuse me, that's not your business. There's something else going on. You need to remove what is not qualifiable, what should not be there. You need to clean up all this. Then it's more like a business. See what I mean? That's all I can say. Have a good time. Bye.